Okay, we're gonna get straight to it. Today, if you found this video, you're in luck because me and my friend, we've been playing this game, him more so than me, quite some time. And basically, we had this breakthrough when we were trying to work on our sidestepping, where we learned how to properly get setups for it. Because like we all know that you want to sidestep and whatnot, but the thing is, when do you want to do it? You know, like we know that you want to move around in neutral, maybe you want to do it out here in neutral, and that's good and all, but suppose you're up close, like do you just want to do it against certain block strings you know you can get out of? So yeah, basically we're on the mindset of just trying to optimize moments when we can sidestep. And one of the things we found is we asked, how negative can you be and let that still be a viable sidestep? And that question led us to, you know, what I think is some interesting discoveries. So, like I said, I don't want to waste too much time. I kind of want to just get into it. I already have 5 things pre-recorded for my Kazuya that I'm going to go through, but just so you understand the situation. So, like, let's say you get, you know, you get combo, right? You get Oki situation. See where you block that? Now, obviously that's an easy to block move, and that move is safe, but you know, that move could hit him as well, because he may have thought I'm just going for another noob-ass hell sweep. So there's that option, right? Right, because he could have thought I was just going to do that. Or even at the wall, you know. Right, we can get a resplat. So there's things like that. Now, obviously, we were talking about this move, and he said it's really slow, and the thing I like about this move is that it leaves you at an interesting frame advantage. Like, you know, this will leave you a frame advantage on hit, this leaves you a good frame advantage on block, as is this. But it's more so that they're just about them being plus, or putting them in a forced position. There's situations you can take advantage of when you're negative, and that's what I'm going to show. So, let's get to it. First one. So, of course, like I said, this is assuming you've trained your opponent and you've started to make the ranges where they're going to get up and block this, because that's going to really affect it. So, assuming you've thrown that move at your opponent, it's safe. You see how they react to it. Maybe they're blocking, maybe they're moving, maybe they're pressing a button. And that's why I'm going to go through some of those options. So this is assuming your opponent blocks it and they just press jab. Launch. Or they go for some other high attack, right? Like, you know, some other 11 or whatever, you know. Whatever it is that they're going for after you do that move, because they're like, I'm gonna punish this guy. Well, that's nice that that hits that zone. Maybe I just beat it out. So then they'll probably switch up, right? They'll be like, yo, I'm not gonna let that guy get away with that. I'll just do these mids. You know, I've got other options. And that's when we start to move down the list. Because you don't risk much. Again, you gotta mix it up on them. That's part of this whole idea. Okay, so next one. Now you do this at a far enough range, and what'll happen is their jab could hit you if you're too close. Yeah, the jab will hit you if it's too close, but you space it out on them. The jab will miss. What else is there? Then there's what else could they do? So yeah, so you start sidestepping. So then they're going to do something like that, and if you block, you know, that move is punishable. Or they could go this move, right? They're like, okay, you're not going to get away with me on that. Let you go here. And again, like I said, if you're up close, it's useless. So you gotta be mindful of your spacing. If you space this right, and it's easy to control the spacing when they're the one that has to get up off the ground. So that's not as hard as it sounds. Plus, they're just gonna block the thing. Closer up. I'm sorry. Let me do that one closer up again. This will catch you, right? Closer up. All right, let's go to the next one. Same thing, just to the other side. You see how this almost gets out of the way? That lets you know that if you space that right, you'll get out of there. So that's the stop for that 11 that they're trying to punish you with because you ducked. There's the blow up on that, and again, if you space that right, you'll get their jabs. And again, you force them to resort to homing moves, which if you block, which you have tons of time to do during that animation, again, you get the punish. So that's a good time to sidestep there. Now, they're bodying you, right? Like you're getting the wrong zone. They're just in your face with the 11. You know, you're not even getting to space it. But I don't know how that would be the case. But I'm just going through hypotheticals, you know, to create the situation. You know. What was this next one we had? Oh yeah, next one. That's an 11. Your armor out there 11s. No, that's my bad. Not 11. I'm lying to you. That's 13. Your armor out there 13 that's been tracking you. Sorry. The 11 you'll beat. But if it's an 11, it's very likely that it's a high. There's very few 11s that are mid. I mean, unless we're dealing with Yoshimitsu Flash. But then again, you know, if they're going to start punishing you like this, they're going to build confidence in them that they can get away with that high stuff. And that's when you go back to your twin pistons punish. You know what I'm saying? That we showed earlier. So that's just kind of the way you build it around, like, you're seeing what they do. And you could say that there's some risk involved, but usually you do this after you've taken the advantage, you know, like, you've been the one, you were the one that landed the hell sweep, you're the one that okied them, so, you know, as long as this isn't like comeback moment, you know, there's a time and place for all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't something you just do all the time. That's something I do have to stress, is that this game by no means is linear. Metaphorically and technically it's a 3D game, so the point is to mix it up, and showing you that you have some different ranges you can mix your offense from is the point of this. And last but not least, my favorite reasoning for all of this: what do you do when you get an opponent that just decides, you know what, I'm not gonna press a button, I'll just block all your stuff, it doesn't matter what you do, I'll wait till you walk and then I'll try to do this, or, you know, I'll just wait and then blow you up. What are you going to do against the person who just waits? Well, that's good, because that means that you basically just taking the advantage back again. So in this one, I'm going to explain what's going to happen here. In this one, you've got them to stay standing because they don't want to eat your knockback, they don't want to eat a hell sweep, they don't want to eat a lot of things. So you send this unseeable low, which, you know, this character at least is the down back 4, and down back 4 leaves you at frame advantage, but you're plus. So now that they've been sitting there not pressing a button and they just got hit by this thing, it's hard for a person to stay focused. Better players will be able to do it, but at this point they're gonna want to press a button, but you're plus 4, and that leads to, you know, the down 4-2 setup, and that's what this is. Oops, I interrupted him. Let me not interrupt him. So, you'll notice how I was still left standing. The fact that I was still left standing, what that shows you is that if I was amazing at programming this dummy, which you see I had him set to do an electric at the end of it, but it doesn't really come out the way I want it to. But it kept me standing is the point. But if I was able to program this dummy to show you what happens after, yeah, there you go. He did it there, but if your timing is better, with that trade, you have a quicker recovery, so you'll get a full launch a lot easier. And that's bringing it full circle, you know? Like, you do this to someone in the corner, you keep the pressure, you know, like, what are they supposed to do? They're gonna block, be patient, press a button. And that's that. So yeah, like I said, if you found this helpful, you know, that's cool. If you find it to be useless, like I said, it's not like I do this all day, right? Like, part of the point is, like, I'm gonna mix it up on my wake up as well. Like, I'm gonna do my Oki, and like sometimes I'll mix it up. I'll give them the overhead, now I'm plus, because I gotta get them to stand still in order for that to work. So there's a process to that. But yeah. Wait, I almost forgot. I didn't answer the question. The answer to the question is -5. This move is -5. And I showed you with some of the situations that I was getting caught. So, you can imagine how much more access you gain and other things that are possible as you decrease that number down to things like -4, -3. You start to see more availability, and that you can sit there and test yourself, and you'll find some interesting stuff against individual characters. You'll test that out, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Trust me, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to answer that. That was the whole point. That's it.